Hello everyone, my name is Salim and welcome to the Markets Breakdown Analysis for Friday, the 25th of October 2023. We'll be breaking down charts through the exact zones where price will close for potential buys or close below for potential sells as well. So looking at the daily candle for Thursday, so the daily respected the daily resistance formed on Tuesday this week and almost tapped into the daily low that was formed on Tuesday this week as well. So on yesterday's analysis, the anticipation was to see price respecting this daily resistance and fill this rejection week that was formed on Tuesday this week. As we can see, price failed to fill this week but still respected this daily resistance, and now more likely the daily will be closing doji bullish. Now just a quick review on the weekly, and the reason why we were anticipating for this week fill is because the last weekly candle formed a rejection to the upside, and within these daily candles for this week we've got a daily resistance formed on Tuesday. The daily candle for Wednesday failed to break above this daily resistance, so obviously as price is respecting this daily resistance and we have a rejection from the last weekly candle, the anticipation was to see a weak fill to the downside. So now to break down the chart and looking at the daily, obviously the daily will be closing weak doji bullish. Drop it down to the 4-hour time frame, and what we can see here is we have the most recent 4-hour support formed around 181.520. The most recent 4-hour resistance formed around 182.060 with the rejection to the upside. Drop it down to the hourly time frame, and now we have a new range on the hourly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to adjust these levels. So we do have an hourly resistance around 182 flat. So looking at the 30-minute time frame, on the 30-minute time frame we have this 30-minute low that was formed around 181.770. We can adjust the level of resistance to 182.020. Drop it down to the 15-minute time frame. Now we have a same level of support and resistance. And now to identify the no trade zone. And since the daily candle closed more likely to be closing doji bullish, respecting the lows, this rejection low that was formed on Tuesday, and respecting this daily resistance. So now the we might see the Friday daily candle consolidating again, because that's like how, I mean, like the way the daily candles are forming, it looks like prices forming a daily consolidation zone. So now to look for potential buys, and what we can see here is obviously we have this 4-hour resistance, the hourly resistance, sorry. The only problem within this level is obviously we do have this 4-hour resistance, but the only problem here is we're not really allowing enough range for price to consolidate. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drop down to the hourly, and I would say ideally is, let's have a look on 5-minute time frame, 15. Yeah, so I'd say ideally is to wait for price to break and close above 182.060 during high volume time. So we need to see price consolidating during low volume time, and then wait for high volume time for price to break out of this range. So potential buys could be above 182.060, above this hourly resistance, which is also the 4-hour resistance. And potential sells, now again, this is a really small range. Let's have a look on the daily, the 4-hour, within the 4-hour time frame, and since the daily is ranging, so now we can refer to the 4-hour time frame, and now we have a 4-hour support formed around 181.520. Drop it down to the hourly time frame, we have a previous 1-hour support, and we have this previous 1-hour support as well. Looking at the 5-minute time frame, now what I would say, it would be good to allow this range. So ideally is to wait for price to break and close below this 4-hour support, because what we can see here is we have multiple 4-hour supports on the left where price respected those lows. So a 4-hour support at this level, price failed to continue bearish, again a rejection, price respecting this 4-hour support, and then again another retracement respecting this previous 4-hour supports on the left. So ideally is to wait for price to break and close below 181.520 for potential sells, and this is going to be the no trade zone. And now to look for potential buys, going back to the daily. So the first thing we can identify here is a daily resistance formed on Tuesday this week around 182.660. Drop it down to the 4-hour time frame, and now we have a 4-hour resistance around 182.530, and that lines up with the rejection wick that was formed within the 4-hour time frame. Drop it down to the hourly time frame, we have an hourly resistance around 182.300. Drop it down to the 30-minute. This is a 30-minute resistance around 182.330. and that's also the same level of resistance on the 15-minute time frame. So I'd say the first thing, obviously, since we have a daily retracement, we have a daily resistance, and then we also have a daily rejection, we need to identify what's going on within this daily 4-hour rejection, excuse me. So the first thing we can see here is we have this hourly, 30-minute and 15-minute resistance. So for that reason, we're going to have the first target for buys at 182.330, targeting this 30-minute resistance. The second target for buys, this could be pretty much easy really, because we have a daily resistance. So a daily resistance at 182.660, dropping down to the 4-hour time frame. We have this decent 4-hour resistance forming around 182.700. Looking at the hourly time frame, and that's the same level of resistance as well, more likely will be the same within the lower time frames. So I would say the second target for buys could potentially be 182.700, targeting this decent 4-hour resistance. And now to look for potential sells. Going back to the daily, and obviously what we didn't identify previously, let's have a look on the monthly. So the monthly is retracing. Drop it down to the weekly time frame, and what do we see? We do see this weekly support from around 185.40. Drop it down to the daily time frame, zooming in, and we have this daily rejection formed on Tuesday. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we have a 4-hour support within that wick. Looking at the hourly time frame, on the hourly time frame, what do we see? We have this rejection. I would say, again, ideally is to have it at this daily low. The first target for sales could be at 181.010, targeting the daily wick fill that was formed on Tuesday within this rejection. So the first target is 181.010. The second target for sales, now we have a weekly support formed around 185.40. Drop it down to the daily time frame. We have a daily support just within this level. But within that weekly support, we have a daily support on the left. Drop it down to the 4-hour time frame. We have a 4-hour support as well, and then ideally is just to stick to the high time frame at this point. So I'd say the second target for sales could potentially be the weekly support formed on the 6th of August 2023, around 185.40.
Dominion Markets, your trading sanctuary.